This is a time for clear heads. This is a time we must come together and be one. This is a time when we must, have dialogue and talk and discuss things. And you mean like Charlie Kirk did and you shot him? It's amazing, all the people now saying we should talk. We should have a dialogue. We should communicate. We should find common ground. No, you shoot people who try to do that. You don't debate. These leftists are incapable of it because they're ideologically, demonically possessed. We saw that at Drumshambo with the 600 signatures. They didn't care. They're psychotic. We see this with the people who are cheering the death of a guy who had a shot into his own 2 kids. His crime was nothing. His viewpoints are middle America. Most people in America would have those same viewpoints as him. Sort of conservative, Christian, Midwest, Middle America kind of thing. It's very common there. It's not radical at all. It's only radical if you think that you can change the biology of a man into a woman, or a woman into a man, or, that kind of thing. Otherwise, it's pretty it's pretty basic stuff. And he was shot for it, for being polite and being engaging. And then now they're all saying, now's the time for speaking. Now's the time for clear heads. See a man Cenk on Piers Morgan. Did you see the demon exploding out of him? Did you see it? When Dave Rubin held his own words up against him. Literally, they had, my theory now is, I had a dream about it last night. There's a kind of an entity that lives behind their faces, and the septum ring may actually be part of their community, their system to get in there. And, they seem to operate through the reptilian complex at the back of the brain. And they're like, they're just incapable of any kind of common decency. I am absolutely shocked. Like a school teacher in America drew a picture, and she took time to do it, of Charlie Kirk's the bullet going through his neck, and and stuff like that on it. Jesus Christ. And these are the people who talk about they're fighting hate. It's like the world is upside down. People the most hateful people accuse other people of being hateful. The ones who want to shut down music amends, silence people, blacklist people, cancel people, they're all, they're the ones for freedom. The ones who dances on Charlie Kirk's grave, they're the loving people. They're the tolerant people. It's completely upside down. These people are so ideologically possessed. I don't even think they're human anymore. I mean, some of the screenshots I've seen yesterday, it's like, yeah, the world is divided in two. Left-wing liberal demons and normal human beings. It's really weird. We saw them energized through COVID. Yeah, that's why so many of these ones they're all COVID fanatics, masks and everything. But now to see them gloating at the death of a guy in front of his 2 young children, a guy who didn't harm anybody, a guy, harming someone is harming them, not having an opinion. That's not harming someone. That's an opinion. You don't have to listen if you don't want to. They couldn't debate with him rationally, so they killed him. It's astonishing. And now we're supposed to say, don't be radicalized, don't be angry, clear heads are needed. When if someone had clear heads, you put a fucking bullet in his neck. What is wrong with you? No, sorry, it's over. The engineers of cancel culture are having their own, they're very fond of this when the Charlie Kirk and his chickens come home to roost. Really? Who did he shoot? No. Who did he tell to shoot? Who did he ever point to and say, shoot this person? And to see Stephen King totally taken and on others left, he's taken things he said completely out of context. Like he was in favour of stoning gays. And these people are evil and sick. Stephen King is a demon. Remember one time someone said, what is it about that guy that he comes with these stories? And now we're starting to understand why. Stephen King he was a tiresome load with his Trump derangement syndrome, but they're actually trying to justify the murder of a man in front of an unarmed man in cold blood in front of his children to the point where they're now saying, the guy who shot him, let him go, he has his life ahead of him. They don't even know what reality is anymore. Like, they think that it's like a game, and Charlie Kirk will respawn and come back again to continue where he left off. The education system really needs to be destroyed. We need to really do something with these school teachers in college. But we see them in Ireland here. I mean, most of the teachers here seem to be like obsessed with paedophilia and through the whole trans thing. That seems to be the only reason they pick the job now. That's the only reason they're in the job. And the trans thing. And, Jesus. I mean, one of the most appalling things that I've ever known, and I don't even care about conservatism. I don't really like it. And he seemed like a harmless individual to me. Seemed highly intelligent and a very good debater. And that they kill him? What? You know, and the guy who shoots him, by all accounts, came from a happy, loving home, had all his needs catered to, had everything he wanted, had a scholarship for college, and somehow, like all these other lefties, all these other demon-possessed liberals, they all seem to think they're victims of the world. They've had see, it's all about decadence. They've had no hardship in their lives. They've never really seen real hate. You know, they've never encountered real KKK type hate or National Front type hate. They've never encountered it. So they have to believe it's everywhere. That someone who has the most moderate opinions on immigration control is the same as Joseph Goebbels or like some scumbags lynching a person down in Mississippi. You know, they go full extreme. They have no cognitive ability to apply reasoned thinking. It's them who are the saviors of humanity, and the only way they're saving humanity is they have one thing they can do is to shoot off cultural Marxist buzzwords. Other than that, they're disfranchised. I'm not surprised that a Democratic Party in the US is now, like, literally there's loads of people leaving it. I mean, when they had the prayer in the chamber, they heckled, and the European Union did the same. Man, we're dealing with demons. I mean, there's such a thing. I mean, Charlie Kirk was not Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin or Leon Trotsky or Pol Pot or Chairman Mao. He was nothing in terms of, like, his danger to the world. Jesus Christ. The world has been divided in the last few days between humans and demons, and it's as clear as day now. Now, there's lots of people who didn't like Charlie Kirk who went like, that's bad, no, it's not good, and I totally respect that. No problem with those people. They didn't like Charlie Kirk, but they're like, Jesus, he didn't deserve to die. Yeah, they're normal people. But the gloating, the laughing, saying things like his wife and children are better off without him? Jesus Christ almighty. Yeah, we've got to do something. We need an exorcism for half the planet. Well, in the West, we need an exorcism for half the West. Anyone who's liberal, socialist, left wing, I mean, it's got to the stage now where I just have to see them as a, you know, I don't like to judge people as collectives, but the last week has made me think, are they all fucking demons? And it's almost like, oh, you're left-wing or Marxist inclined. You're going to have to kind of prove to me you're not a demon. At least I'll give them the benefit of doubt, where their lot, everyone is a Nazi and there's no middle ground, there's nothing. But I was like, the way that rat went onto the top of the building, shot him and scurried away. You know, now he's got the handcuffs on him and suddenly the game is over. And he's got, you know, I don't believe in the death penalty because I think prison life in prison is much worse to suffer, and he wanted to die, so don't make a martyr of him too. No, 60 years ahead of him in prison, eating shit, no more sushi for him with Papa, and in his cold cell in federal, I don't want to be a federal prison, I'm not sure, it'll probably be a state prison. American prisons are awful places, and yeah, no glamour there, none. No glamour. Wow, you know, it's like You know, you think I thought we'd seen got the greatest education ever with COVID, but the reaction by some people to the Charlie Kirk thing is not only a greater education, but one I wish we didn't get, because I knew it was bad, I knew it was evil, but I didn't know it was fucking that evil. And stupid evil too. Anyway, that's all I want to say about the Charlie Kirk thing. I'm probably not going to talk about it anymore. Well, we'll see how things develop. I think when the man is buried, it could get very bad. I wouldn't want to be a radical lefty. I wouldn't want to be a member of Antifa. I wouldn't want to be a member of the Social Democrats parties, or the SWP, or any of these groups, or any communist or left-wing group. He's already been, the killer, Kyle Thomas, or his name is, has already been connected to several of these groups. There's assholes who thought they were heroes for walking around the street carrying an Antifa flag. They're probably going to find themselves in prison for the rest of their lives as a terrorist now. I think they're just waiting for the funeral to end. And then you're going to see something like, it'll be like, it might happen, it might not happen, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if you're some kind of middle class parent and you have in America, and you have, like, but it's going to affect Ireland. They've already said they won't be allowed to ever come into Europe. See, the First Amendment is for Americans, not for us. So like, I mean, anyone who's considered radical left now won't even be allowed to tour America or do artwork there or go to college there. It's over. It's done. You know, that's the wages of sin for you. And wow. And yeah, there's going to be like lots of posh people in America now who like their son Corey, or you know, something like that, or Stacy, their daughter, who's a radical, you know, activist in waves flags and Antifa. They may well not be seeing their children ever again, because there's every possibility that they'll be going into internment camps for the rest of their lives as terrorists. It's just astonishing. Losing a job isn't enough. I think Americans are very decent people. They've got a lot of heart. But they're not stupid like the Irish. The Irish are a race of stupid idiots, gullible, stupid idiots for the most part. They don't have any dignity, the Irish. They're very easily led. They're infantile and childlike. They're reactionary. They don't have an ability. Most of them don't have an ability to apply reason. I don't know why that is. It wasn't always like that, but it's been like that since the 2000s. Now, the Americans are not like that. There's still so many of them who would like quietly contemplate. They're waiting for the funeral to end, and who knows what's going to happen. But wow, you know, I mean, natural law is something you just can't escape.